Yo, what's up everybody? I'm Akeem Lawanson, and in today's Fix of Entertainment news, we've got a new look and sound for Robert Pattinson's Batman, Oscar Isaac's challenging time on set for Marvel's Moon Knight, and did Drake really threaten legal action against Degrassi? Let's drop it. Now with this year's DC Fandome practically here, it's no boy wonder we're getting small teasers of the upcoming Batman movie with Robert Pattinson. Now in a tweet sent out by the Batman Twitter handle, we got the reveal of when the movie trailer is set to drop and Pattinson's Batman voice. Take a listen.
It's not just a signal, it's a warning.
Now, what did y'all think of that? Is it menacing enough? How does it stack up against both Christian Bale and Ben Affleck's respective Dark Knight vocals? I'll let y'all battle it out in the comments, but that wasn't the only reveal we received. We also got 2 new posters showing us a silhouetted Batman and the Riddler holding a letter for the Bats. Now, the Batman in this poster is darkened out, but highlighted is the Bat insignia on the Dark Knight's chest. Now, while it's admittedly not much, this version of Batman does seem to have a leaner build than previous iterations. Now, taking a look at one of the villains in Batman's Rogues Gallery, we have a new glimpse at the Riddler. Now, this is probably the best look we've gotten so far of Paul Dano's Riddler in all his menacing glory. Director Matt Reeves' reimagining of the Batman will see Bruce in his second year as the Caped Crusader, and while he isn't the respected and seasoned vigilante we know him to be just yet, he's got the skills to bring Gotham's criminals to their knees. Now with that in mind, don't expect to see an origin story. Now in fact, in an interview with AV Club, Reeves spoke about how this will actually be an origin story of sorts for the villains. He said, quote, "I guess the one thing about the Rogues Gallery is that it actually, in a weird way, is the origins of a lot of our Rogues Gallery characters. So like, Selina isn't Catwoman yet, that's actually part of the journey. Oz is not yet the Kingpin that he's going to become. He is the Penguin. In fact, doesn't like being called the Penguin. And the Riddler is just emerging for the first time." Now, this particular take on the Batman will be unique given Reeves' noir-driven approach to the story that'll unfold on screen, and these small teasers just before some major reveals at DC Fandome should be enough to tide us over before then, as we all wait ever so patiently for the Batman's release next year, March 4th. And be sure to tune in to the DC Fandome tomorrow here on IGN, as I'll be hosting, joined by some of my super friends. Be sure to follow along with us. Now, in other news, Robert Pattinson isn't the only one with big superhero boots to fill. Oscar Isaac says his experience on Marvel's Moon Knight was one of the most challenging projects of his career. Now, speaking on an episode of Variety's Awards Circuit podcast, Isaac reflected on his past, recent, and upcoming projects, pointing out how challenging the overall production was for Moon Knight in particular. Take a listen.
What ended up happening was that every single morning when that alarm would go off, I could not wait to get to set. And it was the biggest workload I've ever had in my career, the biggest, the most challenging as far as just the sheer amount of stuff we had to do and try to get done in an 8-month period. And even with all that, the challenges of that, I just couldn't wait to get to set and to work with Ethan Hawke and May Calloway. We were just like this trifecta, this unit, and Muhammad and Benson and Moorhead, they were so fantastic too, and just like I couldn't believe my luck, and how collaborative the situation was.
Now, Isaac also mentioned on the podcast how he spoke with Kevin Feige going in with these big ideas for the project and how they all immediately saw the story coming together and unfolding. Now, you'll be able to catch Oscar Isaac as Moon Knight when it premieres on Disney Plus sometime next year. And finally, does anyone remember Drake before he was Drake? I mean, before he was a certified lover boy, he was a certified actor in the role of Jimmy Brooks on Degrassi: The Next Generation. Now, in a recent oral history on the series published by the AV Club, former writer of the show, James Hurst, revealed that Drake's team allegedly threatened legal action after his character had to use a wheelchair in the later seasons. Hurst said, quote, "There was a letter from a law firm in Toronto and it was from Aubrey. It was an odd letter that said Aubrey Graham will not return to Degrassi Season 6 as Jimmy Brooks unless his injury is healed and he's out of the wheelchair. I said, get him down here." Now, Hearst went on to say that Drake said he had nothing to do with the letter and that at the time, all his friends in the rap game were calling him soft because he's in a wheelchair on the show. Now, according to Hearst, he reassured Drake by saying how he's the coolest kid on the show and that there's likely some kid out there watching who never sees someone like them represented on television, encouraging Drake to think about that. Now, Hearst approached the whole situation, honestly, I would say with compassion, which is honestly really great to hear. How many of y'all had the actor that played Jimmy Brooks on Degrassi becoming one of the hottest rappers of our time marked on your bingo card of life? No one, right? Well, you know what? Salute to October's very own. And that was your entertainment fix. I'm Akeem Lawanson. Thank y'all so much for watching. Now that you're all caught up on the news, check out what you can expect at DC Fandome. Download the IGN app on all your devices, and for everything else, keep it locked right here on IGN.